Hello, everyone. My name is Josh, and this is the Skype for Business recap. And it is the morning. I'm actually up and getting this show done before the craziness of Friday ensues, so I am very proud of myself about that. I don't know that I'll always do that. I still am thinking about trying to get a Thursday night recording going just so it's out there very, very first thing Friday morning. The downside to that is the lighting. I need to do better on the lighting in this room. I've got a light and it helps, but when I record at night, the single light doesn't seem to really do the job on its own. The picture I noticed is a little more grainy, whereas when I record during the day, the daylight coming in really seems to help clarity in the picture. So I might either have to get more lights to record at night or something here. But yeah. Anyway, I'm here. I'm getting it done, getting it out. Hopefully early this time, and we can all we can all watch it on time for once in the last few months here. As you'll see on the board in the back, we got a couple topics here that we're going to be chatting about. One of them involves Slack, and the other one, Skype for CCE. Now, if you go look up the hashtag, there is no hashtag with CCE that has to do with Skype for Business, Cloud Connector Edition anyway. So I improvised and just added CCE onto the end of the Skype for B hashtag. It is what it is, you know, it gets the point across for my purposes anyway. I guess Cloud Connector Edition wasn't a trending enough topic on Twitter to generate its own hashtag, or maybe people just didn't attempt to do hashtags with it. I don't know. But at any rate, we'll be briefly chatting about CCE. And before we jump into the content, I'm going to be very ignorant on this matter, so I won't weigh in at all on it, really, one way or the other. But it would appear that Great Britain has opted to exit the European Union. I guess that's the whole Brexit hashtag has been trending on Twitter, and it looks like the vote, from what I've seen, is in favor of Great Britain actually exiting the European Union. Now, again, I don't know the pros and cons of staying or leaving. Clearly, from what I've seen on Twitter, there are people that are very passionate on both sides of this. So here is my thoughts as an outsider looking into it, not knowing much about it, is that as I've seen a couple people point out, it certainly isn't the end of the world for anyone. You know, it may not be the outcome everybody wanted, but yeah, it's what my hope for the country as a whole moving forward is that regardless of which way you wanted this to turn out, I hope that great things will come of this, that it will result in a much better scenario than anticipated on both sides. And that it will be a win for everyone in the end. That's my hopes. Maybe that's just a lot of fluff for someone looking at it from the outside. But hey, I've got friends across the giant lake here, you know, and yeah, I want the best for you guys. So I hope it turns out better. Now, before I sound any more stupid and like I don't know what I'm talking about with the whole topic, I'm gonna back off that and let's jump straight into some Skype for Business like content here. Infinity screen and browser. Here we go. Good topic to start with. This week, Matt Landis on his TechNet here has made available the Administrating Skype for Business Server 2015 Step-by-Step for Anyone eBook in PDF format. If you are familiar with Matt's previous ebooks, this is the fourth in a line here. We go down and see that he's got several other books in the Step-by-Step for Anyone ebook series. The unique thing about this one is that it was not just written by Matt. This was written by Office Servers and Services MVPs, Fabrizio Volpe and Matt Landis. So there was a collaboration there between two great MVPs, and an awesome book has been generated as a result. Great work together, guys. This is amazing. When I shared this yesterday, I did not realize that Fabrizio was I retweeted and shared faster than I actually sat and read the content, and I shouldn't do that. But I glossed over the fact that Fabrizio was a co-author on this. So Sorry about that yesterday, Fabrizio. I tried to go back and include your name on those posts and follow up comments, but this is really cool. I'm glad to see this. I've already downloaded my copy here, and I've gotten through the forewords about each of the authors, and then kind of glanced through the structure. And something I was really happy to see is that it keeps the same simple and to the point format that the previous step-by-step ebooks have done. There's not a lot of fluff. There's not a huge amount of words to have to get through. It gets right to the point of the task or function that is being discussed, and then starts going through those steps with screenshots and simplicity. I love that. Very easy for administrators and those who need to get right to the point and just get something done. Very easy for them to work through. And that is just like the other step-by-step books. So we've got, and this is not, it's a decent-sized book, but it's not going to take you forever to get through. 87 pages at this point, and of course it could grow beyond that as time rolls on. But like I said, we got the forwards here, and then we jump straight into opening and working with the Skype for Business control panel. Very good flow. So good job, guys. Very glad to hear that. When you download your copy and check it out, make sure you come back here to the My Rating and give these guys some applause for what a great job they did. All right, because they did a great job on this. Moving on. I told you we'd be talking about Cloud Connector Edition. This is a very simple page. When we go to details, really it just tells us, hey, this is what Cloud Connector Edition is. Do you want to download it? The thing to note here is that the version of CCE has actually been updated to 1.3.8. Jamie Stark shared this, and I saw a couple other people share this update. Dino Caputo, I saw an update for him on it. A couple others out there. And the thing that I failed to see was what this update does for you. In other words, if you are an adopter of CCE and you have it deployed, what is updating to this newer version going to do for you? And I didn't see that in any of the tweets. I didn't see a description here that says what the newer version has. And maybe I'm just missing it somewhere or don't know where I should be looking for it. But if anyone does know what the update includes, if it's more than just general little tweaks and fixes and polishing things that were rough before, if you know, can you please reply back to the video or holler at me on Twitter or something like that and let me know. I'd be very interested to know what's new with this new version of CCE. And of course, when updating CCE, there are specific steps you need to follow. So make sure you consult a good resource on that. All right. Okay. Moving on. Another download page from Microsoft. This is a comparison that was put out there this week on comparing Skype for Business with Slack, Cisco Spark, and Google Hangouts. Now, I know each of these are not one-to-one comparisons, but there are many overlapping features and functionalities between these products here. And so a good thing to know is how they all stack up against each other, what things are missing from each one. And this is the kind of thing that clients might ask. Customers might want to know if you are in consulting and they're just kind of getting their feet wet in the unified communications platform or just trying to get into audio video communications. They might want to know, well, what makes Skype for Business stand out from these other products? I've heard so much about Slack. That's quite a buzzword. Or Cisco Spark is really new. What's the deal there? This download actually gives us a Word document, and it gives you a nice little table comparison here of the four products. Now, as we can see, this is from Microsoft, so you kind of have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. There's going to be of course, naturally a little bit of bias with how this is built. That not to say that there is discrepancies for the most part in this table here, but I'm sure these vendors might want to add caveats or other categories to be weighed in on. I'm not sure exactly what their thoughts would be on it. I'm sure Skype for Business, Microsoft Skype for Business team has put this out from the perspective of what Skype for Business does for you. And For one thing, it has where was it? I thought that it had something about integration with full Office integration. And Skype for Business is the only one with a check mark there. Well, these other products probably aren't trying to get Office integration or don't want to mess with Office. But to Skype for Business and Microsoft's point, many organizations, many enterprises, while they may be interested in other third-party tools, are using Office, and so that it could be a very strong talking point. At any rate, this is probably nothing new to most of you, but this could be a good little graphic to share with clients and customers if you're trying to really put the sell on for Skype for Business. So there's that. I'll include all these links that I've been showing you in the video description on YouTube, so you can go and grab your copy of each of these as well. Last item here, Doug Rutledge. Sorry, Doug, if I pronounced your last name wrong there. He released a handy little download, an EXE, on the TechNet Gallery this week called Bridge Response Group Available. And it is supposed to serve, as he says here, as a companion for your Skype for Business or Link 2013, and it addresses the presence issue that can cause agents to not receive calls. What it does is it continually sets the status of your client to available unless the agent is either in a call or during a defined wrap-up time post-call. So it's a little application that can be minimized in the toolbar and just runs there. It also has a toggle switch, he says, that for breaks, and it will set the user to busy and maintain that status until the user is toggled back to available. So it kind of helps you stay in your queue and make sure there are people available in a response group queue to take calls when statuses might get taken over by Outlook, Calendar, or other things like that. So that it's a really cool little tool, good idea there, and it does give you a little bit of manual control as far as that toggling the toggle switch here for taking a break. So, and lets you define that little wrap-up time. Very small, concise little tool, but very handy and purposeful. So, so far, 0 ratings. I would download it and rate it myself, except I don't have any response groups to mess with and test. If you do, though, please come out here, grab this, give it a download, and let them know what you think. Let them know how it worked with your tools there. So the EXE is called rgavailable.exe, and I thought this was a cool little contribution. Pretty new, only a few days out there. But again, response group users, go grab it, download it, give it a test drive, and let us know what you think. All right? All right, so that is the end. There's the infinity screen. That is all that I've got to share in the content for today. Glad to be able to do another episode here in the actual office with my whiteboard and my I think they're called shishi dogs or something from Okinawa, and my gator head down there, and shaking the thing everywhere, bumping the table. At any rate, I'm glad to be back in the home office doing a regular show again and not trying to do some makeshift show while traveling. Always a little bit sketchy trying to do that. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope it kind of highlighted what's going on this week. And I hope that you will tune in next week for the next Skype for Business recap. I haven't mentioned anything about feedback in a while, but I'm a huge proponent of feedback. So if you've got any thoughts or feedback as far as the quality of the show, things that might help the show, things I could do differently, whether or not I should wear a mask to cover this thing up during the show or what, all feedback is welcome, good or bad. I'd like to know how I can make the show better and what your thoughts are. So please feel free to throw that at me on Twitter, LinkedIn, email, comments on the YouTube video, wherever. I'm good for receiving all that feedback. So thanks, guys. Have a safe weekend, a productive work week next week, and hopefully we'll see you back here next Friday, bright and early. So adios.